Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Tuesday, February 17th, 2015, around 8:10 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's cold out. Cold, and it's going to continue to get cold for several more days and weeks. No melting of the snow until at least March, and more chances of adding the more white stuff to the ground. And Boston's only 10 more inches away from breaking the all-time record of most snowfall in one winter season, and there's a good possibility we'll break it in February. And that's a record you don't want to break. And I am a Julie Broughton guy. Anyway, some news to report. The Celebrity Apprentice has been renewed for another season. Donald Trump will have more celebrities next year playing for charity for the Celebrity Apprentice, and we're going to see him saying, "You're fired." Or I like when Vince McMahon always says, "You're fired." And that's about it on that. My third and final video blog subject of the night is about Bill Russell, one of the most famous NBA centers of all time. Bill Russell played 13 seasons in the NBA, and he was the best center in the history of the NBA. He won 11 world championships with the Boston Celtics. He was amazing. Bill was born in West Monroe, Louisiana, and he grew up in Oakland, California. He played basketball at a young age, but he wasn't very good at it. He got cut from his junior high school team. He was kind of a project. He was kind of tall. He didn't know too much about the fundamentals of basketball, but when he worked on it, he got better. He got better at it, and he became a great player. He was great at his high school, and his high school basketball teammates, were future Baseball Hall of Famer Frank Robinson. And Bill went to the University of San Francisco, and he won 2 NCAA titles there, and he was a 2-time All-American. He was UPI College Player of the Year in 1956, and he was West Coast Conference Player of the Year in 1956 as well. He was teammates at USC with his future Celtics teammate Casey Jones, who was a future Hall of Famer. And then Bill Russell was drafted. In his career stats in college, he averaged 20.7 points per game and 20.3 rebounds per game. And he was also a track and field star at the University of San Francisco. After he graduated from college, he tried out for the Harlem Globetrotters. Were interested in Bill Russell, but he didn't want to play for them because he didn't want to do some comedy basketball. And he was drafted by the St. Louis Hawks in the 1956 NBA draft in the first round, 2nd overall pick, but he was traded to the Boston Celtics. And Bill played for the 1956 USA Basketball Olympic team, which he was the captain of, and he won a gold medal. And then he played for the Boston Celtics for the next 13 years. Bill Russell was a dominating force in the NBA. He was a 12-time NBA All-Star. 5 times he was the NBA Most Valuable Player. 11 times he won the NBA title. 3 times he was NBA First Team. 8 times he was Second NBA Team. 4 times he was the NBA Rebounding Champion. And 8 times during his career, he had seasons where he averaged 20 or more rebounds per game. He was a clutch player, very competitive, very dominating at the center position. That the Celtics won so many championships in a row with Bill Russell's dominance in the playing center. He was a great player, very clutch player, especially at playoff time, winning all these championships after championships after championships. By 1966, when Red Auerbach decided to retire from coaching from the Celtics and concentrate on his general manager's duties, he named Bill Russell the coach of the Celtics. Bill Russell was the first African American coach in NBA history and was the first African American to coach any professional sports league, NBA, NHL, NFL, and Major League Baseball. And Bill was a player coach for 3 seasons with the Boston Celtics. 2 of them, he won NBA championships, and he was a great coach with the Boston Celtics. In 1969, he decided to retire from the NBA and retire from and quit coaching for the Celtics. This was his career stats: 14,522 points, which averaged to 15.1 rebounds per game, and he had 21,620 rebounds in his career, averaging 22.5, and 4,100 assists, which averages to about 4 assists per game. Bill Russell was the most decorated NBA player of all time, winning 11 NBA championships in 13 years in the league. That's amazing. Very amazing for Bill Russell. He became a legend in Boston. His number 6 was retired by the Celtics, and he was a first ballot Hall of Famer in 1975. Bill Russell eventually coached Seattle Supersonics for about 4 seasons in the 1970s. He led them to 2 playoff appearances, but he left coaching in 1977. Then he became a color man for CBS NBA broadcast for many years. He was the number 1 color man in the early 80s. He teamed with Gary Bender and Dick Stockton to call many NBA Finals games and many NBA regular season games. Then in the mid-80s, Bill Russell moved to TBS, and he became the color man for many of their games on TBS. In 1987, Bill decided to go back to the coaching ranks to coach the Sacramento Kings, but he only lasted half a season until he got fired from that. His career coaching record, Bill, was 341 and 290, and in the playoffs, 34 and 22, and he won 2 NBA championships as a coach with the Celtics. He was a decent coach, but I think his heart wasn't into coaching after doing the Celtics thing for 3 seasons. I think the Sonics and the Kings hired Bill Russell because of his name value and stuff, but he was, a mediocre coach, and he wasn't very into the coaching. Bill is a vegetarian, and he doesn't eat meat, and Bill, came back to the Celtics organization in the late 90s as an advisor, and there's a statue of Bill Russell in City Hall Plaza in Boston, and he's probably ranks up there, probably the best NBA center of all time, probably one of the 10 most famous Boston sports athletes of all time. Probably you gotta rank Bill Russell up there as maybe the best Celtics player of all time, and it's a legend that it was real good to have Bill in Boston for so many years as the Celtics. And that's about it on Bill Russell. And I'll be back, Facebook friends, YouTube followers, Daily Motion, and Twitter followers for 3 more video blogs tomorrow. First video blog will be about the top 10 players of New York Giants, San Francisco Giants history, the pitchers. And then the next one will be about MBTA bus number 350 that goes from Our Life T Station to North Burlington via the Burlington Mall. We'll maybe discuss about some of the bus routes once in a while. And third and final video blog of the night will be about Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. And for the rest of the week, the tentative thing is that we'll have the top 10 greatest men's college basketball coaches of all time, NCAA Division I. And I'm also going to do a video blog maybe about some sports issues, and then there'll be top 10 list of the greatest professional wrestling's finishing moves of all time, and the top 10 submission moves of all time. And then personality profiles will include Baseball Hall of Famer Frank Robinson and Jim Rice and a few others. And over the coming weeks, there'll be like more and more video blogs about top 10 greatest Seattle Mariners players and pitchers of all time. I'm almost finished with the 30 Major League teams' best players and pitchers of all time. And then probably in the near future, they'll probably have to start doing the top 10 players of all time of each NBA franchise and each NFL franchise. That's going to be a task. And coming in March will be, I'm going to view WWE WrestleManias. And there'll be 2015 Major League Baseball previews. And also the NCAA March Madness tournament. So you'll be having a lot of information on these video blogs. And maybe I'll do a fourth one during March Madness. You'll never know if I get the chance to. And have a good night. Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. See you tomorrow. And stay warm in New England.